Hi, everybody. My name is Olivia. I'm one of the refractive coordinators here at Stahl Vision. I am here with Brooke. She is our live LASIK candidate, and we're just going to go over a couple things with you. How are you today?
Nervous.
Yeah, completely normal.
I'm excited but nervous.
Completely normal. Well, we're happy that you're here. I just want to go over a couple things with you. Let's talk about your life right now. You're in school. What are you studying? How's life right now?
Chaotic.
Yeah.
I'm an accounting major at WVU and I graduate in May. And then I'll be starting my MBA in the fall. And I'm also an intern at an accounting firm in Morgantown, and it's tax season right now. So very chaotic, and then trying to schedule surgery and everything around it. But I really wanted the surgery. So I was like, I'll make it work somehow.
Well, we're glad that you're here. What kind of hobbies are you into?
Right now it's mainly just school and work, but when I'm not doing that, I like to hang out with my friends. I love reading. I'm trying to get back into that when I have time. And I love going to visit my family, and we've gotten into traveling a lot in the last few years. So this summer we're going to Hawaii, and with the surgery I'll be able to actually see it.
Life changing for you that you're able to do everything you wanted to get into. So tell me about the struggles that you've had with your glasses and your contact lenses. You actually have a really interesting story in your prescription. So go ahead and tell us about that.
Yeah, so my prescription is terrible. It has been confirmed several times over the past several years. My contacts I've been wearing since I was 13, and then I had glasses before that. I failed my reading exam when I was in kindergarten. So they think that my vision was probably bad before that. Then I went to a pediatric eye doctor where they had to do eye drops in my less dominant eye to try and help match the other eye. And I've been wearing glasses ever since. And then I got contacts, and I had a normal prescription. Then when I got into high school, it started to get a lot worse. And then by the time I started college, it just drastically got so much worse. I think with all of the reading, and I spent a lot of time on computers and everything. And my freshman year of college, that March was when COVID started. So it was a lot of remote class and everything. So spending a lot of time on computers and everything. And that's when they started having to make my contacts, especially at a manufacturer. And the material of the contacts seemed to get a lot worse. Yeah. That's my preferred method. I hate wearing my glasses. Like these haven't been updated in years.
Yeah, so it's hard.
Yeah. And I think it started to get really bad about 2 years ago. It seemed the material changed even more in the contacts, and they would get dirty really easily. Like I would do nothing, and like there was stuff in them, and it'd be hard to get it out, and then I couldn't see, and it would cause a lot of pain. So I started looking into LASIK as soon as it started to get really bad.
So this has been a constant uphill battle.
Pretty much. It's just like progressively gotten worse my whole life.
Oh, well, your life is going to change today. We're so happy to be a part of that.
I'm excited.
So tell us about your vision growing up. What did it stop you from doing? How did it affect you?
So I played soccer my entire life, and one of the things I always remember is before I started wearing contacts, glasses would get in the way all the time. I remember getting hit in the face a lot, and if my glasses got broken or damaged or anything, then I couldn't wear them for the game. That made it really hard to see the ball coming at me.
Yeah.
Or if it was any weather that wasn't perfect, like if it was raining, it would get in my glasses and make it hard to see. Or if it was really cold and then I'm breathing warm air, they'd get fogged up. So that was really difficult. Like any sport that I played would make it hard to play with the glasses on.
Absolutely.
And then when I got contacts, I think my eyes got more sensitive. So if it was sunny out, like I'm blinded by the sunlight, that would make it difficult when I started driving. Having contacts and more sensitivity to light, just it made everything a little bit difficult.
Yeah. And do you remember a specific moment in your life where contacts and your glasses have stopped you from doing anything growing up and like anything in life?
I remember a specific moment in college when I went to my first football game. Like that's when they started making my contacts specially at a manufacturer, and like my contacts got dirty or I got something in them and it was impossible to get it out. My eyes were just in pain the whole time, and I was crying, and I literally couldn't see anything. Like we got into the stadium, I couldn't see anything happening on the field. So I just had to leave the game entirely because I couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
I was so frustrated and upset. And I ruined the game for the friends that came with me because I couldn't see to get home. So they had to come help me.
Gosh. And you were coming from all the way from West Virginia. What brought you to Stahl Vision and Dr. Stahl?
So when I started looking into LASIK in my hometown in Parkersburg, there's the IMDs. It's Dr. George Strickler and Think Laser. Like there's 3 of them. And I saw Dr. George, who I think went to school with Dr. Stahl. And he did a consultation with me and he was like, I'm sorry, I don't think, I can help you. That was really discouraging because I knew my vision was bad, but I didn't think it was that bad. And he was like, but I do know this guy in Dayton who I think could help you better. He has a better laser. He knows more than me. He's a genius. Like, I think he could help you more than I could.
Yeah.
So even though I was disappointed with that, he referred me here and I came here and met with Dr. Stahl. And he was the first person in like 5 or 6 years to get me to see 20/20 through like the lens that they do. Like even my regular eye doctor has been able to do that. Like, and when that happened, my dad was at the appointment with me and we were both like, oh my God. Like
that's amazing. And that speaks volumes. And what was your first impression of your office when you were here?
I thought it was really nice. And it was great that at the other eye doctor, when I went in, it was a bunch of old people. And I felt really bad about myself because I'm 22 walking into this office with a ton of old people.
Oh, shoot.
So when I came here, it wasn't really like that. There were still some old people, but it was very engaged. So I felt a little bit better. And everyone was super nice here. And I just thought Dr. Stahl was very nice, and it was so reassuring that he was able to get me to 20/20 on whatever that lens thing is they call it.
Yeah.
And I also liked that each room had a theme. Like I was in the teddy bear room, and so I brought Dr. Stahl a West Virginia teddy bear today.
He loves it.
So
We've already taken pictures.
All right. And after meeting with Dr. Stahl and all the technicians here, do you feel confident in Dr. Stahl doing a procedure?
I definitely do. I mean, aside from the fact that he was able to do things previous doctors haven't been able to do for me, and I was like Googling things and I was like, I don't know if I can even get this in the first place. But then, some of the people here who tried to do the vision test with me also, they struggled. And then here he was able to do it. And everyone's been so nice. Some of the other places I've been to, they were like, wow, your prescription is terrible. And that doesn't really make me feel great about myself because of how young I am.
Yeah.
But everyone's been great. The office is really nice. And, I read a bunch of things about him. I was like, I feel good coming here. And so I'm happy that someone who seems really good and knowledgeable is going to do the surgery.
I'm so happy you had such a great experience and hope you continue to. So it's been a couple weeks since you had your consultation. A lot of emotions ran through your body. Tell us about that. Were you nervous leading up to it? Super excited? Tell us what went through you.
I was very excited when he approved me because the whole consultation, it was going really poorly. Like no one could help, no one could get me to 20/20 until he came in and my dad were like, you might get rejected again. And so I was really nervous. Then when he said that I was approved, my dad and I were in shock. We were like, are you sure? But then we met with, I think it's Lapian, and she was like, he wants to do this webinar with you. And I was like, he does? And she was like, yeah, you're such a complex, candidate and everything. And she was like, he'd love to be able to do this. I liked that he was excited for the challenge because other doctors were like, oh, I wouldn't touch you. That's not reassuring.
Yeah.
So I was really excited then, and I was really excited looking forward to it. I was happy it could be done so soon because this is less than a month after my consultation. I've only been nervous today.
That's fair.
Started reading some of the papers and things like that, and I'm like, and then there's that slight fear, what if I go blind? But everyone I've talked to is like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll trust all of these other people.
Well, Brooke, we are so excited that you are here, and we're going to be helping change your life. We're going to go ahead and hand you over to Carrie to get you all prepped. We're going to go over to Dr. Stahl.
Hi, Rain.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Good. It's nice to talk to Brooke for a little bit.
Absolutely. No,
So-
for sure. She's moved great.
Yeah,
So we're going to talk about you for a little bit too before we can jump into
Okay.
her surgery.
that's good.
So
So
can you just give us a little background
Well,
on yourself?
I'm Dr. Brian Stahl, and this is Stahl Vision, and we specialize in LASIK surgery and cataract surgery. Did all my training at Ohio State, so a big Buckeye fan, as you can tell from all the stuff that I'm wearing. And yes, this, for those who know, this is a Zeke Elliott jersey from his Ohio State days, right?
It's vintage. Like she said, we got
Vintage, like
fingers.
me. We've been helping people get their vision back for about 28 years now. And I love what I do. You know, I get people their vision back. We've got a really exciting night tonight. So it's pretty awesome.
All right, so tell us what we are looking for at from Brooke's chart and complications that she has with her vision.
Yeah, you know, Brooke has a pretty complicated prescription. You probably saw from that last prescription. If you happen to know your numbers on your box or your contacts, Brooke's about -8.5 and -9. That's a lot. And she has 5 diopters of astigmatism, 5.5 in the other eye. You know, it's really interesting, right? Because you and I hear it all the time. People say, "Oh, I can't have LASIK surgery because they've got astigmatism," and that's not true at all. A lot of people with astigmatism, like Brooke, she was miserable in her contacts. Every time she blinked, they would rotate. She didn't see well. They were thick on the edges, so she was getting deposits and irritation in her eyes. And her glasses, if she looked dead straight ahead, she saw medium good with her glasses. She wasn't 20/20 with her glasses on. But as soon as you look even off to the side, the glasses don't work as well.
How often are you just looking straight ahead in your glasses?
Exactly. And her glasses look pretty nice. They did a good job. They're not super thick, but you know, most people with that prescription, they've got like Coke bottle thick glasses. So Brooke's just very fortunate. She has the right shape of cornea, the right thickness to her cornea, that even with that high prescription, that we can get her corrected.
Well, we know that you all like a challenge, but what really sparked your interest in taking in Brooke as a patient?
You know, Brooke actually got sent by some friends of mine from southeastern Ohio, and she's actually from West Virginia. So she actually traveled 2 states over to just get to us and see us. And we like that. You know, I've been practiced long enough that sometimes people say, you know, why don't you go see Dr. Stahl? He's kind of specialized in this. He's been doing it for a while. So sometimes I get cases from far away, and I like that. And Brooke's, just as you saw earlier, she's just a very bubbly, upbeat person. It's fun to do people that have that upbeat personality.
Awesome. And then what are some of the things that make her a great candidate for LASIK?
Well, she's not doing very well with her contacts. And you know, most of the people I see, if they're low prescription and doing great in contacts, they don't show up at my doorstep. But by the time they're active in sports, or they're not doing well with their glasses, not doing well with their contacts, or they start developing infections or allergies to their contacts, now all of a sudden they're kind of interested in being going to have it done.
All right, and then can you give us any information on a typical nearsighted patient with astigmatism?
Yeah, so what's a normal person, an average person to see? The average person to see might be about -3 diopters nearsighted, right? And they might have less than a diopter of astigmatism. And then just to compare that, Brooke is -8.5 on one, -9 on the other, and has 5 to 5.5 diopters of astigmatism. So for Brooke, there's probably not 1 in 10,000 or 1 in 20,000 people that have that high prescription like Brooke. But you know, you and I see a lot of those people, and the reason we see those people is because they're not doing good with their other options. They're not happy with their contacts. They're not hardly seeing with their glasses, and so they seek us out because they're not doing good with their other options.
All right, well, Dr. Stahl, are you ready for this live surgery?
I think so.
We're ready to get going.
Have some fun. So we're going to put some drops in, and we're going to mark your astigmatism. You have a lot of astigmatism. And if you'll pass me one of those mics. And like, I have one of those.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do you a favor and hang on to it.
Okay.
Because we're gonna grab it.
Okay.
So you can flip it too.
Okay, that'd be awesome. Yeah, so she has a lot of astigmatism. So we're gonna mark her for the astigmatism axis first. So those are some numbing drops. I'm gonna keep it comfortable. We can grab the candles for me right there. Forward all the way forward against it. I'm gonna put some marks on, and you know, most of the time somebody's gonna mark they want to blink or pull back or to return, but just with the light bulb filling that little bit. Some of those marks. We usually use these in surgery. Just these things to keep it right. Technology is very, very. Great job again. Now, Brooke, you can lay down.
We're grabbing a clip for you to put it in. So let's like.
So yeah, we're gonna move in underneath there. Regularly and check the first day, call the numbers. Check to make sure we got everything back for you. And call the number brand. Let me drop in and move the underneath there. That's perfect. I'll tell you exactly what your treat needs to be. That's based on your own things. Finger, full draw, everything through. All these things. Right in your hand. Yep, another one drop in. That's another drop. Yep. Close, leave it close.
She does. They can't hear it.
All right. Now, we're gonna have purples or hands for you because there's the time coming up, and I'll tell you. And you're gonna want to squeeze, and I want you to do that. Yeah. Nope. You feel some pressure on that. You feel the pressure with the earth. All those numbing drops are about. That are dying too. Like the heart now. Now, I'm gonna have you look up for that.
Had it all. It was the muscle. Everybody put his head down.
It's the line up. And Brooke, this is that hard, so you're going to squeeze, but instead of squeezing your eye, your best is raising it there. Okay, look right at your green line. Right at the light. It's down to look down a little bit more right there. Now, Brooke, this is going to dim in a second. I want you to say, great. Now your vision will come back and be a little blurry. I'm going to have you look down, not even find your green light. That's like this alone, right? A video game. And if you look right at the green light, I'll get everything else lined up for you. There and hit the practically light. As a matter of fact, you know, every time go towards the bottom edge. Or what we did is we created a right? Look at the fact. That's how the recovery still. speed about this. But once you're practicing looking at the green light, you kind of have to go towards the bottom side of the green light. Because there's a tendency that your eyes roll off.
101.
All right, well, and right now, my work is about 24 seconds, not super long, and I'll line it up on time and tell me when you're done. Once you're looking right at that light, okay? Great, right at the bottom of the green, make like you are. Even off no line up, just a little better, go for very good, we're doing great. Doing great work, right at that line, yeah. Right at the line, and then you lift a little bit, keep it in the middle, okay? Right at the line, that's what you're at. When you're walking that way, you're on the right at the line, right at the line, right at the line. Brooke, what we did for you, because your cornea is huge, I want to state that way it's on your side, and it's crooked too. As we flatten it a little bit, and it's great. You look right at your lights there, right? Keep the other eye open. Other eye open, Brooke. Look right at your light. Let's come back up here. Look right at your light still. We're going to smooth everything down. Where it was purpose starts back. That's why the recovery still. When I tell people it's like wallpaper, right? They've been all the bubbles, the pattern lined up.
So she wants you to be this line. You're going to be your medication. Being honest, I don't understand. I treat all slingshot as well. You know, to put that as well. Guys, the full part of the play as early as possible. So after that, maybe for each hour and a half. After that, we just have such a good things to look at. About halfway done, right? You're doing awesome.
Yeah, a little bit more smooth there.
You're doing great, Brooke.
Yeah, that's been really, really well. Good. Let's draw this. Then you can put both on. This needs to put that way, switch things around. Where you live in West Virginia, you see bears sometimes? Not so much. We even have bears coming back to the parts of Ohio too. Rural parts. So it's great to up there, right there, turn things around that way. Excellent.
You know, okay?
What a great job. We'll have to do the second line now. Might be able to hear me a little bit better this time. We're set up like, put some numbing drops in, I keep it comfortable. Jen, and then, let's work that out. Yep. That looks good. But just to kind of reiterate some of the things that very important. Real careful. To the rubber on it. No pressure. I think it's completely real. The goggles, be careful when you're taking on and on. So you chin up a little bit. There, relax your head. Right, it's right. Yeah, look right at the green line. Okay. See it, just hit the drop your tip to the goggle. But let it dry out. So nice close in the far right. It's exciting to be able to see. From your side, if you are, it's going to be kind of an immediate improvement. Obviously, it'll be a lot better after a minute. A lot better tomorrow morning. Then I'm across everyone. That steadily, as you get your drops into the next week, that get better, better. In your case, you look and see on the walls. Across your butt. Right there, Brooke. Question on
No.
Vision's gonna dim. You don't have to squeeze Carrie's hand like we did. I don't want you to say,
You're doing great. You're doing great. Good job.
We won't really stay with the Mountaineers fans, but apparently they're a little soccer football this year. They were like the Browns. They're rebuilding this year. All right, so we're gonna get it all blurry now, right? You're looking at that light. Right there. We look right at the green line, I'll line up and I'll sometimes just line up a little bit. Right at that line. Perfect. Right there, that green line. 25 seconds before you're pinned down. And stay right there. Yep. Okay, perfect. Steady up that line. Bottom of the green line. Bottom of the green line. There you go. Bottom next to the green line. Doing really good for us. I'm not going to have to and we have to but right there, doing Look back down where your light is. That wallpaper ain't stuff, right? We get all the stuff lined up, get the entire lined up. Oh, I know. Down just a little bit. Yeah, right. Once it's all healed in, you may actually end up seeing better with this than you ever did with glasses. The other place is people with type of improvement. A lot of times people with night vision. People come back saying really better. More solid, a little bit. You have the medicine drops to use the various folks. From here, but once you get home, get your nap. Right? Each 2-hour nap, so much better after your nap. So burn a little bit. Tip on that. If you keep your drop in the refrigerator this first day or two, boy, you'll fully little bit here. We'll turn things out. Do want you to leave your eyes closed for a minute, see what we're doing. We'll switch up and we'll look together. Raise your light there, laugh a little bit. You were an excellent patient. I heard we're heading off to Jamaica for next mission trip here pretty soon too. And we have the mission trip to the sporting things that they did. Now we're going to wait for our surgery for lunch. Another part of what you do. And keep them both closed. Now turn things out and look at them. So, most of the people we see down there are really bad. Here's it. Right. Yes, you're right. Your eyes closed, respect for
Yes.
your
Facing it. No, it's
She lined up.
Yep.
There's a reason I like being lined up, Brooke. This is the reason. Right up here. Look around. There's a plug up there. Thanks, that thing.
Yeah.
When I had you walk in, it's like anything really stupid. The vision right now will be kind of cloudy. After your nap, it's a little bit better. And then all right, lean back. Brooke, you're our last patient today. You could push this button for me. We have that. That red button up there. It's easy. Brooke, you were an awesome patient, right? So I'm going to see you first thing in the morning. Okay. All right, come on up this way.
Thank you.
Good job.
Here.
Watch the cords. We've got a bunch of cords. So yeah, that's what makes it fun to be in LASIK surgery. Something like that. Yeah, where they can see the big E on the eye chart, can't see any of the scenery in the room, and putting up and they're reading the clock all the way across the room. And that's like 1 minute after the surgery. So we're going to move around and we're going to kind of do a post-exit interview and talk a little bit about things.
Thank you.
How do you feel, Brooke? A little dry. We're gonna get some tears in there. So she did absolutely great, no problems. And we're gonna see her in the morning. Eyes closed on that car ride. Okay. Fantastic job. Assistant.
Found that microphone clip right in time, huh?
Saw how the surgery.
Surgery was great.
Good.
So yeah, we got the microphone being fixed. So hopefully get here at least. For that. So, yeah, it's fun being a doctor, and you know, people like Brooke, they're kind of sighted people, and they're that bad, and again, you know, it's a little blurry, but for her, it's immediate.
Right.
She walked into a room and couldn't see like a bear. Oh, the bear! Would you go get me the bear? It's right in here. It's fine.
Well, how did Brooke do?
You know, Brooke did good. You know, a high prescription like that is a longer treatment, but it's 24 seconds. That still seems fairly short. Like you're only in that room maybe 15 minutes. The total time of the treatment was about 24 seconds. Yes, see, we're Buckeye fans and Mountaineer fans.
Yeah.
This is the bear that Brooke got me. So I just had to show up the
Michigan
Mountaineer
colors.
fan. And we're Mountaineer fans too, right? So, yeah, 24 seconds of treatment time. An average person probably has a 4-second treatment time. So the laser is extraordinarily fast.
Yeah.
This is the 6th generation of these kind of lasers. This is the latest and greatest laser. We use this one because it gets the best results. You know, we have 99.2% of our patients seeing 20/20 or better when they use both eyes together as a single treatment. Those are numbers far in excess of what the FDA got, far in excess of what me as a consultant has seen from other practices. We worked really hard getting her numbers. So she did great.
And how did you feel when she read the clock for the first
Oh,
time?
I love that. Right? When they start to
That's
cry
right.
and laugh simultaneously, and the
Yeah.
girls in the room are crying, I go, oh, yeah, it's
We
great.
celebrate together.
It's a
that's for
pretty
sure.
awesome thing. And everybody claps. And
Yes.
so, yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So what should she do tonight when she leaves us?
Yeah, so from here, she needs to leave her eyes closed on the car ride home. And they'll burn a little bit. We do put drops in to help make that feel a little bit better. And they're going to water, but she's going to head on home and she's going to take a 2-hour nap. I feel so much better after that. And you see a little bit better after that nap. And then she's going to be getting 2 different drops. There's an antibiotic drop and a steroid drop. We mark the bottles for them, and she'll be using 2 different drops for the next week.
Got our list of questions that you guys asked, so I want to make sure that we're addressing all those. All right, so why are we so specific about our aftercare instructions? Does it really make a difference?
Yeah, you know, it's like a cookie recipe. If you don't put the exact same ingredients in and cook them for the right time, the cookies don't turn out. So we're very specific with people. We need you to do the exact cookie recipe and do it exactly like this. Because again, we're a very exacting science. We want people's vision to be as perfect as they possibly can get it within, you know, human variability. And so we follow the recipe exactly. So we tell them exactly what to do. In our office, we don't just give the instructions and we write it out for you. But, you know, one of our hand holders, and you saw Carrie in there today, she goes over all of this with her ahead of time and then is out after the surgery, answering questions with her and with the family, and is there afterwards to answer questions too.
So we just kind of want to talk about the healing process a little bit too. So what should she expect in 1 week?
Yeah, so tomorrow morning she'll be seeing even a little bit better. 1 week from now, she'll actually be seeing pretty good. Now, in her case, the numbers, she was about 20/30 with glasses. So she could not see the bottom row or the row above that, and partly of the row above that. So it wouldn't surprise me at 1 week for her to be pretty close to 20/20. That's what some of her numbers are looking like. But they're still healing on. So the first week, there's some exercise restrictions, and we want her wearing her goggles at nighttime, and a few things like that. But after we release a lot of the restrictions. People can stop wearing the goggles. They can go back to exercising. They can wear makeup. But there are some restrictions with their speed.
What about the first month?
You know, by a month's time, people's eyes are a little less dry. They're still using their tears. There's still healing going on. People are saying, gosh, it's really starting to come around, a little less dryness, and I'm feeling better and better.
Right, what about that final 10-week appointment?
Yeah, at 3 months, 10 weeks, that's when we measured. That's where all of our formulas and all our nomographs are designed to get people when we get to that 10-week visit. And then we measure and we see how close they got. And by that time, people's prescription pretty much got what you got and they're what they're going to be.
And then what are some things that make us different from other LASIK practices?
You know, there's a couple things that make us a little bit better. Well, thank you, Brooke.
Thank you for joining us
Appreciate
today.
it. Great job. You know, I personally see all the patients that I'm going to be doing LASIK surgery on, right? And measure them. We do their surgery. We're there for their follow-up care and their post-op care. You're not going to see that other places where, you know, meet the surgeon until the day of surgery. You're not going to see him again.
Have your stamp of approval.
Right.
Where we send them out.
We work very hard on the formulas that are used to program the laser. A prescription like Brooke's, for instance, you know, there's a lot of adjustment to that prescription based upon her age and her gender, her prescription, the shape of her corneas, the humidity of the room. And we have 39,000 people in our database. We've been doing this a while. So we have very specific formulas. And each year we work on getting a little better, a little better. Again, the numbers we're getting are far in excess of other centers. So we really have a very high percentage of people seeing very well after their surgery.
And now Lakin is going to come in and answer some questions that you've all been waiting for.
So we're gonna take some of the viewers' questions first.
Okay.
They've got just a few. They just want to know, we've got one that wants to know exactly what the goggles look like for surgery. So super
You put 'em
spinny.
on?
I'll put them on
There
some
you
random.
go.
Yeah, the goggles are just so awesome, and everybody loves them. Now,
So stylish.
they do what they're supposed to. They protect you so that you don't hit your eyes. Nobody likes them. This is like third or fourth try. They're medium comfortable, right? You only have to wear them all day the first day for obvious reasons, to protect you, and then at night. Most people at the end of the week are really glad I don't have to wear goggles anymore. But yes, we have those. So, maybe can I pass off the questions?
I believe we answered this one about keeping your eyes closed on the drive home.
Yeah, we do keep your eyes closed on the ride home. And people are excited to see, but we don't want them drying out. So we leave the eyes closed. Now today here in Ohio turns out to be a good day. It's almost like 70 and kind of rainy. That's perfect cooling weather. But especially in the winter or in the summer if it's hot, we don't want them drying out. So eyes closed on the car ride home and straight home to get there now.
What are driving restrictions post-procedure?
I don't want people working or driving the next day, although most of our patients, probably 98%, are seeing good enough by the next morning that they could drive. And we actually give them a card. Would you grab one of the cards on the room? I'll show you. We actually give you a card that says, hey, you don't need glasses or contacts to drive anymore. And in Brooke's case, that's definitely the first time that girl could ever see. I think we were talking to her earlier. I think in kindergarten, she couldn't see the classroom hardly at all, the blackboard. So she's 5 years old, already wearing thick glasses, right? So yeah, we give you a card that says you don't need glasses or contacts to drive anymore. And you get that first day. So most of the time, if people check out, if they're seeing good enough, we say, hey, you can start driving later today.
Maureen, this is going to be a question for you regarding surgery. So I know it's been a few years since you've done it, but the question is, other than pressure, what does it feel like?
I had my Valium, so I felt great. I was ready to go home and take my nap, but there's music playing in there normally. We didn't today just because of the volume issues and everything, but people are talking and it's just a very welcoming environment. So no pain or anything, just pressure and a ton of numbing drops. So we definitely get you through.
Yeah.
And then this one's for you, Dr. Stahl. What happens if you aren't seeing 20/20 or better at 10 weeks?
That's a really good question. There are some people that might need enhanced, a touch-up, a second treatment, synonyms for the same thing. So we measure you at 3 months, 10 weeks, and that's when your prescription is stable. So let's say you're close, but you're not quite there. Well, then we can go back and do a touch-up, and it's not very difficult to do. We don't charge anything in the first year to do tune-ups or touch-ups, and the rest of your life, it's greatly reduced cost. The nice thing in our center, we work really hard to get you right the first time. Nobody wants to have to come back and do a touch-up. So our enhancement rates are one of the lowest in the entire country. And that's because we work hard to get it right the first time. But if we do miss by a little bit, and again, why did that happen? Well, everything was a little different. If you did this on robots and we're all made out of titanium, everybody would be the same. And the laser is extraordinarily accurate, but humans are all different. So if you heal a little bit differently, then we can go back and tune it up. And it's not terribly difficult to do that. And we don't charge.
How long will the corrections last before vision changes again? So I would summarize that one.
Right. Will this wear off? So the question was, will this wear off? And the answer is no, the results are lasting. Now there are aging changes that are still going to occur. And it's a good time to talk about some of those aging changes. I'm quite a bit over 40 now. And as you get older, you start holding things out a little further. All my staff is giggling and laughing at me now because it's a little hard to see up close, right? So yeah, eventually you're still going to need reading glasses. And this doesn't cause that to happen, but it's not going to stop it from happening. So as you get into your mid 40s or so, if you're lucky enough to make it to 60 something on up, well, everybody eventually gets cataracts and everybody eventually is going to need cataract surgery. Your implant has to be chosen a little different if you've had LASIK surgery. We have specialized formulas for that. So aging changes still happen, but the results are lasting. They don't wear off. They don't go away.
The last one is going to be, are some competitive sports available after surgery? So I think more, are there restrictions on sports afterwards, or are there certain?
It's hard for you to probably hear. And the question is, what kind of sports can I do and things like that? So let's take the most violent. Let's say you're a cage fighter, all right, and you're getting hit in the face a lot,
We've done a wrestler.
or wrestlers, okay?
Yes.
Some of those people are better off doing PRK. So there's two types of laser vision correction. The analogy I give, like ice cream, there's chocolate, all girls want chocolate, and there's strawberry and vanilla. They're all ice cream, they're different flavors. Flavors of laser vision correction. There's LASIK, and then there's PRK. PRK is a different surface step. It's a longer recovery. But if you're actively getting hit in the eyes a lot, well, PRK may be safer because there's no flap. It takes longer to heal. Most people could go back to normal sports, non-contact sports like that, after a week. The Air Force did studies. At 10 weeks, they took jet fighter pilots. And by the way, the Air Force and Navy strongly encourage jet fighter pilots to get LASIK because they don't want them losing a contact or glasses at Mach 2, right? Some pretty obvious things. And they make them come out of cockpit at 600 miles an hour and see what happens with the flaps. And guess what? The flaps don't move, right? So once that's sealed down, it's pretty good. But volleyball, you're probably fine. Boxing, that's like cage fighting, right? You might want to think about PRK for boxing. But normal sports, soccer and tennis and volleyball and things like that, you can get back after a week, right?
Boxing, we would probably consider cage fighting, MMA.
Boxing, MMA, Taekwondo, well, not Taekwondo, but, karate, martial arts, mixed martial arts, stuff that you're actually getting punched, right?
We have one question about skydiving and pressure.
Yeah, actually, the pressure doesn't affect you. There were some older types of refractive surgery about 30 years ago where mountain climbing at very high altitudes is a bit of an issue. However, it's been tested with both LASIK and PRK, and people have been scuba diving down to 200 feet, special air to do that, and they've been climbing up to 32,000 feet, and it doesn't seem to affect your eyes at all. So your prescription's stable at both high pressures and low pressure.
Last two we're going to take are not comments, or not questions, but actual comments. Carrie, your hand holder is awesome. And the last one is from Brooke's dad, and he just wants to tell you thank you so much.
Oh, well, Brooke and their family are so nice. You heard they came all the way from West Virginia to play with bareback. So I'm personal. I encourage, please bring your doctor things. Bears are high, or Buckeyes.
You got to feed us the chocolate.
The girls are getting into the chocolates a little later tonight. So they were really, really nice. But I'll just feed off the other one. And that's a question you're going to ask. I am so proud, and my staff is so competent. And people, you ask, why come here? Well, the big part is my staff. This is the best group of people you're ever going to see. They're very, very competent people. They're friendly, they're nice. They're the first person you're going to see when you come in the door. They're the first person you're going to talk to on the phone. They're the last person you're going to see. They have kind hearts. They're very intelligent. They take excellent care of our patients. It just makes a difference. When you come in and see people like Rain or Lakin or Olivia or some of my other staff that you're going to see today, you're going to see it's just a different environment here. And that's because of the staff. I'm very proud of them.
When you actually make sure to train us as well.
Well, correct. Dr. Knowles and I, we train all of our staff in customer service skills and our medical environment. And we're very particular about how everything is done. So, yes.
Awesome. Well, Lakin's going to come in and answer some more questions.
This is my area here. Beer. Dr. Stahl, what's the biggest question we typically get asked?
Probably financing, I guess.
That's right.
How much is this going to cost?
Well, here, I'll play this role, right? So
you're going to play my.
No, I'm going to let you do that part, right? So we want to make this fit in everybody's pocket, right? And we want to make it affordable for everybody. So Lakin, tell us how we do that. How can people come in and afford this?
So the street price is surgery normally runs $24.90 per eye. That includes everything. That's an all-inclusive price. It includes your preoperative appointments, your post-op appointments for the year, the enhancements that he discussed, taxes, everything. That's on all-inclusive price. You guys actually get the $1,100 discount for joining the seminar today. So
which is really cool.
Mm-hmm. So that one's going to break it down to $38.80. Now, sorry. There's a lot of different ways that we can take payment day of surgery. So some patients have their favorite credit card. That way they can get points. You can do your HSA or your FSA if you didn't know that you could use that. Sorry. If you didn't know that you could use that. You can mix and match your payments. We offer a discount for paying in cash or a cashier's check, but the most common way that patients pay is through our financing option. So the financing option that we offer is through a company called Care Credit. It's basically a medical credit card that you can use in medical facilities. Now, it's not something that you can use it just only at Stahl Vision. A lot of girls used it for braces. You can use it at
Other
the
medical
vet.
procedures, the vet. Yeah, I forgot the vet.
Some patients, some pharmacies take it. Everyone offers a different special through there. So some practices that offer plastic surgeries and LASIK surgeries offer something that's like 6, maybe 12 months of deferred interest. The reason they only offer 6 to 12 months is because they pay for that promotion. We actually offer our patients 24 full months of deferred interest financing through Care Credit. That breaks that $38.80 down to a payment of $161.66, which is a pretty affordable monthly payment. Now,
It's less than Starbucks. I see you girls getting Starbucks, and that's more per month than that.
It breaks down to $5.31 a day. I did the math before we came.
Perfect. Less than
Oh,
Starbucks.
that's,
Now,
you know?
staff still needs
You say
their
that,
Starbucks.
but.
We're all gonna be happier if they get Starbucks.
So that is pretty affordable if you can fit that into your budget. Again, we're happy to go over all of these payment options and payment things at payment breakdowns at your consultation when you come to sit down with us. Super easy to answer all of your questions and just be there for you guys.
So just on that, so how does that work? They have to make regular payments as they go along?
Yes, yep, they have to make a monthly payment.
And there's a interest penalty if they don't make their payment,
correct.
right?
If they don't make a payment that month, the
And our
interest will
practice
gather.
pays the interest for 2 full years, which given interest rates are climbing and climbing and climbing, that's going to be a big deal for people,
We
right?
pay a promotional package to offer that to our patients. So we know how important it is for them to have surgery.
Right.
We know that we want to make it affordable, and that's a priority to us. So we pay that special package to be able to offer the 24 months to them. Yep.
So let's say people watch this and say, hey, I think I want to do this. Do they call us or they go online or how's that work?
Both. So you can do it both ways. You can call us 937-643-2020. That'll get you a consultation set up. You'll speak to either myself, Maureen, or Olivia. Sometimes you'll get one of the girls that work the front desk, super knowledgeable too. If you don't want to wait for us to open tomorrow, you can always go online to stahlvision.com. There's a little tab that'll say LASIK, and you just scroll down to where it says schedule a free LASIK consultation, and you can get yourself scheduled. It asks you the same questions that we would ask you. You get to pick your own date. You can filter the calendar between Dr. Stahl and Dr. Knowles, find a day that works good for you. Pay attention to your instructions there. It does want you to be out of your contacts for the week beforehand. That's very important for us. That allows us to gather some super accurate measurements for surgery day. Determine whether you're going to be a candidate or not, and then definitely plan to be with us for 2.5 hours for your exam. I know it sounds long and it's hard to fit into your schedule, but it's totally worth it to do.
Yeah. And you mentioned exam's free, right?
Exam is
There's
free,
no obligation.
completely free,
Come
whether
in,
you schedule or don't.
find out if they're a candidate or not, right?
That's the first step. You got to find out if you're going to be a candidate for surgery. So don't let fear and cost set you back, because you need to find out if you're going to be a candidate before you're even worried about having surgery.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, so I think we have covered everything. The last thing I do want to mention is we've been working hard on getting some videos put up on YouTube. We have some new exciting things coming too, so we'll stay tuned for that. But if you have more questions about just more in-depth things, technical things, more finance questions, you can check out our YouTube page. It's just Stahl Vision. There's a couple other LASIK seminars that we've done earlier in the
Right, we
year.
have prior seminars on there. So if you really have some questions, you'll probably find some of your questions on those prior ones. So we put the old seminars up on there so you can watch those old seminars
Yeah.
too. And of course, when you come in for your exam, that's the best way to get technical questions answered. We want to look at your eyes, measure your eyes, have all the numbers laid out in front of us and say, well, this is your eyes and your situation and what we think we can do for you. So, yeah.
All right, well, thanks for having us, Dr. Stahl. You were
Thank
great.
You, Lakin. Thank you, Marie. and
Thanks, everybody,
Olivia,
for
my
helping
entire
and all the
LASIK staff
patients.
crew. So,
Yeah.
and
Thanks,
listen,
Brooke.
go Volunteers. We hope West Virginia has a better year at football next year. And go Buckeyes, because we're really counting on a good Buckeye football season this year. So,
Awesome.
thank you all. We appreciate you
Thank
coming.
you.